Now we are in the very interesting part of our course. So far, we created the layers, we added the external data onto the map, and now it's the time we will bring some interaction on the table. We will create a map where user can click either on vector data or on raster data and then create a pop-up out of it. In the pop-up, we will show all the properties available along with that feature. Let's get started. Now in OpenLayers, separate functions are created to work with vector as well as raster data to get the information on click. This function can be broken down into smaller functions. So first of all, we will have to figure out a way that we can capture the click event on the map and then maybe get the coordinate at that specific location, so that based on that coordinates we can then figure out which feature are we clicking on. For this, we will have to explore the event click for the map. Let's just head over to the OpenLayers API doc and see if we can do that. I will simply click on map.on and you will see all the methods available with map.on. If I go to ol.map, you can see that we can capture the click event, the double click, move end, move start, pointer drag, pointer move, post compose, post render, pre-compose, property change, and single click. You can see that there are so many interactions that we can do with the map. Now let's just start with the very basic one, the click one. I will head over to the Visual Studio Code and I will open the last created code where we had the layer and the map, and that's all. Alright, now let's just start with at least catching the map.onClick event. Map.onClick. Now I will write map.on click and then it will return some event which we will capture. And then let's just try to see what do we get in this event. There we go. Now if I save and go back to my browser, I will open the console log side by side and let's just add some debuggers at this E. Okay, now if I click on map, you can see that we get inside this map.onClick event and then E represents the event. So if I do E.target, you will see that I will get some information. If I go E.coordinate, I will get exact coordinate where I click. This can be really helpful for us, right? Okay, now let's just think about what are the ways we can capture the vector data's on click property and then what are the ways we can do the same for the raster data. For vector data, OpenLayer provides a function known as for each feature at pixel. So if I search for each feature at pixel, you will see that it detects features that intersects a pixel on the viewport and execute a callback with each intersecting feature. Alright, this is what we want. So when we click on map, we will get that pixel and then we will use that pixel to find out which feature is available at that pixel. So I will do map.onFeature at pixel, which will require pixel as the first parameter. So how we will get that pixel is that if we do e.pixel, you can see that we also get the pixel information. So I will simply get that pixel and then I will run a function where the two parameters will be feature and layer, and then I will simply console.log the feature. Now if I go back to the API doc, I can confirm that this is how it will work, because the callback will basically give us a function where the first argument is feature and then the second argument is the layer. Finally, we also have the option where if you want to filter any layer or maybe change the hit tolerance value, you can do that, but we will keep these options to the default. Okay, time to test our function. I will head over to our load map. I will refresh it. And now let's try to click on any one of this point. I will zoom in a little bit and I will click on it. You can see that we are inside the map.onClick, and if I put the debugger here and if I hit on play, you can see that I got some feature out of the click. This is what we want. And how we can confirm that we got the feature is that if I click outside, so for example, if I click here, I will again add the debuggers, maybe here and here. So if I click here, you can see that we get inside the map.onClick event, but we don't get any feature at all. This confirms that we will only get the result when we click on the feature. Awesome, right? So this is how we can get the vector data on click. We can also get the vector data on pointer move and things like that, which I will highly recommend you guys to try out. Now let's just try to see how do we get the raster data. For this example, we will be referring to the OpenLayers example panel and we will look for the function known as getFeatureInfoURL. If I look for getFeatureInfoURL, we'll see that the way the WMS data works is that since it is not the data that resides inside our OpenLayers application, we have to get the coordinate, we have to get that exact location, and we have to communicate with the server from where we are getting the WMS data. And then that server will basically return us the feature. In our case, we will be using GeoServers, this layer which we see here. So I will simply copy this layer and I will replace it with the layer that we have. So we don't need image WMS, so I will simply cut it out. I will start the tile WMS and I will replace it. Okay. Now, as we discussed that the way we will get the data is that we will first have to pass the coordinate, the resolution, and the projection system of our application, of our map, and then based on all of these values, a URL will be generated. For example, a GeoServer fetch URL will be generated, which will basically give back the data as a response. So in order to do that, we will be using the WMS sources get feature info URL function. This means that the URL function needs to have some sort of source available to us in order for it to run. If you have multiple WMS URLs for which you want to get the results, you can also get it by passing extra parameters such as query layers, etc. But for now, we will stick with the basic info. I will simply save it and test out whether I'm getting the WMS data or not. And you can see that this is the WMS data where we get the entire world map and then the smaller states. Okay, now I will pause this for a minute and I will create new map.onClick. Inside which again I will use the event available to us. And now let's head over to the example and try to understand what we are doing here. We will be first fetching the resolution information. How do we do that is by accessing the view properties of the map. So I will simply copy the first line, I will paste it here and I will replace this view by map.getView because that is how we will get our view. Okay. Next is the actual URL. Now I will explain you how that URL is created. Here the WMS source will represent the WMS source of the GeoServer layer that we just created. Next will be the event coordinate that we will get from this E. So I will replace this event with E. View resolution is something we defined just now, and then this is the coordinate system. Finally, we arrive at the info format. In this example, I will be using the info format as application JSON. Feel free to browse through GeoServer's different info formats available. This will basically give us the URL, which will be sort of like a JSON URL. So if you have worked with any APIs in the past, you know that if we have some sort of URL which can give us the JSON, we can use the fetch API. So I will use fetch URL, then I will make the response as a JSON, and finally I will console log this data. If there are any errors, I will catch it with the catch call. Cool, we are there. Now let's just test out whether the WMS layer works or not. If I head over and if I click anywhere, I think this is all WMS layer, but I don't think the oceans that we see here are WMS, so we will test out both of these things. If I now click on, let's say, this region, you can see that we got inside the map.onClick function, the view resolution is working, and then the URL is created. If I copy this URL and if I paste it somewhere in my browser, you can see that the GeoJSON format result is generated by the GeoServer. This is what we will get as a response from our onClick function. So if I again put a debugger here and if I click on next, you can see that we got the data as a GeoJSON format. So this is how we can also fetch the data from a raster layer. So we have noticed that we can get the data from vector layer, we can also get the data from raster layer. Now the final part is putting this data inside pop-up and then showing the pop-up wherever we are clicking. Before we move ahead, what I will do is I will simply put both of these calls in the same onClick function so that it doesn't matter whether we click on raster data or vector data, we will always get the response. So if I click, let's say here, where we have both raster as well as vector data, we will get both of these responses. So I will only put the console log at the result. If I click just on raster data, you can see that I am directly getting the result for the raster data. If I click on vector data, I got the vector result as well as I got the raster result, because of course the raster is below the vector. That's why we got both of these responses. Now finally we will create pop-up. Again for pop-up, we will be referring to the OpenLayers example. Pop-ups are basically overlays in OpenLayers. Overlay is again a type of OpenLayers function which we will be using. In order to create pop-up, we will also have to define this style of it. We will be using the default style available to us in the example. I will simply copy this style as it is and I will put it in my style.css. And now let's just try to understand the code. As you can see that apart from the div of ID map, we also have the div of pop-up, which will basically act as our pop-up. So I will simply copy this div and I will paste it in my index.html. Now this div consists of two more tags. First is a tag, which is basically a close button, and then second is a pop-up content. So whatever data that we want to add, we will add inside this content. Now in the script, we will first get all of these elements in a variable so that we can refer them whenever we want. So I will create it at the very beginning, and then the overlay is created. Overlay basically represents that a div which will overlay on the map. So I will simply copy this and I will explain you everything that we have in overlay. So the first is the element. Which element are we referring to? So this will be the parent div, and then whether it is autopanable and what is the duration of the autopan animation. There are more properties attached with the overlay which we can explore in the API doc. We can also mention the position, the autopan, the class name, and all of these events. Alright, now let's head over to the example one more time and see what are we doing again. So here we are adding a very basic function of close button, so that whenever someone clicks on that close button, what should happen. So overlay will have a position of undefined, that means the pop-up will disappear. And then finally we add that overlay as a property of map as an overlay. So I will add it in my map initialization. And that's all. Now let's try to first create overlay for the raster data. If you have a look at the raster data in the debugger, you will notice that we get the raster data as a GeoJSON format. And that is why we first have to figure out how to exactly get hands on the properties of the clicked feature. So if I click here, I get inside the data, then features, and then the first feature, and then properties. This is basically giving me back all the properties attached with this feature. So I will simply copy this link in order to get all the properties. And let's just say that in the pop-up, we want to add this admin property, which basically I guess represents the name. So I will say that var name is equal to this dot admin. And then finally we will add this inside our pop-up. So pop-up is just like another div. Hence we can do the inner HTML. So if you have a look at the pop-up, you can see that content.innerHTML. That is how exactly we are adding the data in the pop-up. So I will do content.innerHTML is equal to, I will add in bold, I will add name, and then I will simply add the name. Finally, now that the content is defined, we also have to specify where exactly we want to open this pop-up. So a good example can be, we can open this pop-up wherever we are clicking, and we can get this information of where we are clicking by the event.coordinate. So I will do overlay.set position, and then we will pass event coordinate. There we go. Now let's just see if it works fine. If I refresh the map and if I click on this land, we get the result. We also got the name and then overlay. And there we go. The pop-up is available. Now you can play with all sort of CSS properties of this pop-up by going into our style.css and then changing things. For example, if I change the background color to something like I don't know, maybe yellow green, then the pop-up will appear as yellow green. Let's just keep it as white for now, and then it is back to white. One thing you might notice is that now we are in a pickle where we want to figure out a way that if we click on the vector data, we only want vector data information in pop-up. But if we click on raster data, maybe then a raster data information. This we can handle by simple JavaScript if command. So what we will do is, if we get the feature back, then we will first create the pop-up here. Now let's just try to see how do we exactly extract the properties of these features, because for raster we got the data back as a GeoJSON. But if I put the console log here and if I click on this feature, you can see that the feature is in the format of ol.feature. And the way to get properties for this feature is by doing get properties. This will fetch us all the properties related to this feature. So let's just say that we want to use name en as the name of that airport. So what we will do is, we'll simply write feature.getProperties.name en, which will fetch us the name. And again we will create var name is equal to this, and then for now the content will be airport name. Now to get the coordinate, we can either use e dot coordinate or we can also fetch the coordinate from the feature. Let's just try to use that. So we can do feature dot get geometry dot get coordinates. This will give us the coordinate of that feature. This might not be helpful if you have feature in, let's say, line format or polygon format or something like that, but we can definitely use it right now. So I will simply copy it and I will change the e dot coordinate to this feature coordinate, and there we go. Now what we can do is that if the content inner HTML is empty, then and then only we will move ahead and we will test this out. But if we add the content over here, then we will not add it here. So the way to do it is, maybe we can define a flag, that var flag vector found, and initially we will keep it as false and we will make it true only we go inside this. And then if we don't find the vector, then and then only we will run this. Alright, so if we don't find the vector, then run this. Awesome. Now let's just test whether this works the way we are expecting it to work. Okay, if I click on the WMS, I'm still getting the results, can't complain. If I click on here, and now let's just click on the vector layer, and there we go. We got the vector layer data. If I again click on WMS, I got the WMS data. If I click on the vector layer, I got the vector layer data. So this is how we will add the pop-up to whatever information we have added on the map. We saw that if we add our own vector layer, how to create pop-up, and also if we are using any third-party WMS layer, how to create pop-up. I hope this lecture series was helpful to you. I hope you understood how to get started with OpenLayers, how to load some basic data types, how to create pop-up out of it. If you like this series, make sure that you leave a good review, a good comment, or maybe if you have any suggestion, make sure that you leave it so that I can improve in my next lecture series. Thank you.